Hi there, welcome to Northwest Florida. We've got some very unique plants I want to show you, from our coastal areas to our uplands and a little bit of our wetlands. Just look at our beautiful oak trees. We have several kinds of oak trees native to North Florida. They're all the Kirkis species, but we have black oak and blue jack oak, bluffman oak, Chapman oak, laurel oak, live oak, and myrtle oak. These old large trees help alleviate flooding in our area. Some can get up to 85 inches around. They're the true gems of Northwest Florida. It's always a lot of fun to walk along our sandy areas in Northwest Florida to see what kind of animals are there, even though we don't see them. But sometimes we'll see things like coyote and bears and bobcats and fox and marsh hares and herons and your occasional feline and canine. Northwest Florida has a diverse amount of flora and fauna, various vegetation, uplands and wetlands. We have beautiful sunsets. Projects such as the Deadmans Island Restoration Project restore our areas that have been impacted by hurricanes. As we continue our journey to the uplands, this leads us to the Gulf Islands National Seashore in Gulf Breeze, Florida, known as the Naval Live Oaks area. This is the land where Naval Live Oaks area lies today, and it was originally purchased by the U.S. government from Spain in 1828. President John Quincy Adams wanted the land to cultivate and harvest live oak wood for building U.S. Navy ships. The exciting part is this became the first federal tree farm. Fortunately, over time, the need for live oak diminished because ships were starting to be built with iron and steel. Therefore, the live oak area was used primarily for ship restoration and preservation. Today, the Naval Live Oaks area is part of the Gulf Islands National Seashore Forest Community and has been protected by the National Park Service since 1971. Northwest Florida has a lot of pine trees, and I was beginning to wonder what the difference was. There are some that have long leaves, some that have short leaves, some that have round pine cones, some that have small pine cones, some that have long pine cones. So I was a little confused and decided to go ahead and take a trip up to talk to the experts of the pine trees in Northwest Florida. So I continue my quest to Blackwater River State Park in Milton, Florida, about an hour and a half away. where I seek out the experts to tell me more about the pine trees.
Slash pine is going to be the more common tree species that you see in all the areas. The longleaf pine is mostly here because we manage it with fire, and it needs fire to thrive, whereas the slash pine can pretty much grow in an upland system or in like a wetland system. And with the needles, like they'll either have 2 or 3 needles on the fascicle.
Okay.
So you
this one's 3.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So you can't always go off of the needles because sometimes you look at the length of the needles too, but can't always do that because of the age of the tree. So I always look at the pine cones at the ground.
Okay.
Longleaf are very, very big and they're kind of spiky, whereas the slash pines are more round looking and they're kind of smooth on the outside. I do have some cones. Well, I can't grab them off the wall, but there's a difference in the cones. I always look at the cones down at the ground, and then that kind of lets me know what I'm looking at.
So the long, narrow ones are the
longleaf.
Longleaf.
If they're like this big or so, and if they have little spikes on the end of each, I guess,
I think I've
flowering
seen those.
part of the cone.
Okay.
So this has 2 needles in a fascicle, so that means it's a sand pine.
Oh.
Plus the needles are really short. Sand pine also have very small cones, probably about 3 inches or so.
So there you have it. Mystery solved. We have our slash pine, our longleaf, and our sand pine here in Northwest Florida. So I decided to venture closer to the wetlands of Blackwater River State Forest and say hello to this gray squirrel. But I also noticed that a lot of the leaves were changing according to seasons. I don't see that much on the coastal areas. They do have a scrub, but it's a little bit different than the coastal areas too. Oh look, it's an amazing Cypress Swamp. So that led me to Jones's Swamp down in South Escambia. But wait, that's wetlands, and we were talking about uplands. So we'll have to do wetlands another time. So there you have it. Our slash pine's the most common. We'll explore the wetland systems in a different video, but until then, I'm glad you enjoyed our tour of Northwest Florida. And thank you for watching.